Hello viewers, and welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. This time, we're heading out on our victory tour, sort of. Perhaps premature victory tour. We're going to finish off the Drowned Crew and the Formless Flesh, the last two bosses. I don't anticipate having too much trouble. The Drowned Crew is kind of a joke on the earlier difficulties. I've never fought them on Red before, because Red, or rather the Cove came out after I got my last crew to Red before the Let's Play. But the Formless Flesh has never been terribly difficult. So the Drowned Crew, today we've assembled our team already. As always, you know I love a Plague Doctor in the Cove. I'm bringing just people who have completed Darkest Dungeon missions. These guys are tested. They all have level 5 gear and weapons. I don't have to spend any money getting the adventure ready. Sharp-eyed among you maybe will notice that my gold and heirloom counters are different than they were at the end of the last video. I ran a couple of greens through the ruins, just trying to get enough busts to finish upgrading the sanitarium. I don't want to finish the game without the town upgraded. For no real reason. I just feel like the town ought to be finished. And also, I wanted to show you guys one thing. Look at this. Look at that. You remember? I keep talking about this thing. It's real. I swore it was real, and here it is. So, not exactly amazing, but it does give plus 15% damage and then a bunch of other positives, with the only downside being 15% extra stress. It's a good trinket. You know, we'll even go ahead and buy it. I want to have one. The chances that we'll actually use it are vanishingly small. But I've been talking about it so much all this time, I think it would be silly not to buy it now that it shows up. The merchant went to all that trouble to acquire it. Alright, the Drowned Crew. Oh wait, how about I provision? Alright you, calm down. He's having himself a little freak out over there. Bring some keys. Bring a little holy water. I don't really need those giant fish, right? And I'll bring a couple of anti-venom just because we're already spending a slot on it. Thanks, Plague Doctor. Alright, food, torches, yeah, this is good. And the game crashed. Okay. We'll just relaunch that then. As soon as it finishes syncing. So, how are you? How are you guys doing? No, go ahead, just talk. I can hear you. That's how the internet works. Okay, here we go. Getting back in. Technical difficulties. But that's what you get. You know, this is raw, uncensored, unedited footage. So basically, for you guys, it's all the downsides of YouTube, the lack of interactivity, the slow pace of releases, but it also has all the downsides of Twitch, where it's unpredictable and sometimes fails for no reason and you just have to sit through it. You know, you get what you pay for. If you want a better product, feel free to PayPal me some money or something. I don't know why this initial load always takes so long. I guess the sprites must be very high res.
All the decadent horrors I have seen pale in comparison to that final crowning thing.
Well, that's not even...
I could not look, nor could I look away.
It doesn't even remember our party. It was Rainbow Core Power, who has just proven himself to be a tremendous stabber of fishmen. Well, of eldritch men. Okay, it does remember that we gave them equipment. It just doesn't remember that... Okay. Alright, we will re-provision basically the same way that we did before. I bring extra shovels to the cove because there are so many curios that interact with shovels. Not like extra shovels in the Weald, where I bring them because I know there will be too many blockages.
While the greedy dogs slept off their revelry, I hexed their anchor with every twisted incantation I could muster, imbuing it with the weight of my ambition and my contempt for their crude extortion. At the witching hour, the anchor pulled with preternatural force, dragging craft and crew down into the depths. They must have cried out, but no sound escaped the swirling black waters.
That is messed up. Why is he always drowning people? What is wrong with this guy?
Devils, chained and drowning for eternity.
That time it wasn't even in service of, like, a pact or anything. He's just being really awful for no reason at this point. Frankly, I'm surprised it took as long as it did for this guy to get his comeuppance. And of course, when I say get his comeuppance, what I mean is doom everyone else on Earth to having to deal with his comeuppance. To be fair, at least he's keeping it in his idiom.
Continually onslaught. Destroy them all.
Hey, you're not the boss of me. You drown people. You know, we've been... The whole time we've been here, we've been kind of just letting this guy pull rank on us. I think it's time to stand up. Unfortunately, we do still kind of have to, you know, go fight all the monsters he created. You know, they're managing to land a lot of stuns and dodge a lot, but they're not actually getting anything accomplished, really. Also, with only 35 dodge, I'm really quite surprised by how little we're hitting.
Give them no quarter.
I think this is under control enough that we can go into healing mode now. Oh, she left it at 1.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Nothing escapes power. I honestly probably could have brought to this dungeon a very similar trinket makeup to the one that I used in the Darkest Dungeon, given how many of the monsters down here are Eldritch. But I don't want to, you know, prep that way and then come down here and run into an unusual number of fights against bandits or something. I'd like my lineup to be as versatile as the area that I'm using it in, at least, you know? You can definitely get yourself into trouble by over-specializing when it's not called for.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Okay, this guy has 135 stun resist. He will probably resist this. That's fine. It's still the right play. I don't think I even... Did I even bring the mark? I didn't. Okay, that's fine. Stabbing is good. We're just going to have to work through all of the prot. And cursing him with the damage reduction curse probably is not actually going to be meaningful, because if this guy does a lot of damage to us, it's going to be via arterial pinch. Yeah, like this. And the impact damage of arterial pinch is already basically 0. Who wants a crit heal? Hooray!
alone does not dissuade
Wow.
a sharpened blade.
I was trying to shift click that to get rid of it, because we definitely don't need it. Okay, secret room. Let's head over here and grab this curio real quick, and then we'll head over to the boss, and we'll come back to this area if we have time. There's a lot of treasure over here. I don't know how much more treasure we're going to need exactly. I think when we hit the... No, I'm not going to expend a shovel. When we hit the darkest dungeon, we have enough level 6s that we can give it quite a few tries without really even having to train up anybody new. So we may not need that much more gold before the end of the game, honestly. But we'll keep being smart with our dungeon runs anyway. It's just good form. Stay practiced. Drop those, I guess. We have no use for crests, of course. If we find busts, we'll take them, but not over gold. Would I rather have... I think I'm going to dump this food. Or not crests, busts, rather. I think I may have said crests, but I meant busts. Alright, we're actually going to run our torch all the way down before we pick this up, and then we'll refill before we hit the curio, obviously. We'll camp here. You know, by this point, you guys know the deal, I'm sure. Same strategy as always.
And now, the darkness holds dominion.
Low light while looting.
Black as death.
Not more important than 1,000 gold. Okay.
The match is struck.
Oh, I didn't walk all the way to the doorway before using the torches, so I just lost 6 light for no reason, really. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a thrall start in the 3rd position. Doesn't really change any of our decision making, it's just interesting. Alright, we do need to hit the thrall a little bit more. Perhaps by vomiting on it. And this will be a fine time for our barbarian, Hellion rather, to throw out a yop. It's not just me, right? She really looks like not even just the stereotypical video game barbarian, but specifically a Diablo barbarian. Wow, this guy is not having any of it.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Damn. Well, okay.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Ah, what a jerk. He's gonna give himself a prot buff right before it's no longer possible for him to do that anymore. Just slowing down the fight. Although, honestly, that's more advantageous to us than it is to him.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
It's adorable. He goes to 75% prot like he thinks it's gonna save him or something. It would be funny if it wasn't so sad.
Masterfully executed.
Believe it or not, that was a pretty good crit. Well, we no longer have to hit him.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Rubies, you say? What do I think the odds are? Oh, it's so hard to say. It's so hard to say whether I'm going to get more value out of keys or medicinal herbs. I shouldn't have hit the secret room. I should have left it and come back for it. I think that was the big mistake here. It's going to limit our intake a little. I'm going to take the herbs. And I am not going to interact with this creepy Cthulhu statue. I see no benefit in that. Aw.
Mind that such missteps are the exception, and not the rule.
Alright, so if you don't remember the Drowned Crew, basically, it's a boat with a bunch of creepy dudes on it, and they... Why did I do this? Why did I not walk forward and use my shovel? It's like I hate winning. The Drowned Crew, it's a boat with a bunch of dudes on it. They set down a unit in the front row that has an anchor on it, and while it has its anchor, it has high prot, and then it throws the anchor at someone, moves them to the front of your party, and strangles them, stressing them out and healing the boss the whole time. I don't anticipate it being a big problem. Nicely done. And then we've got an Iron Swan for this guy. Okay, and by the end of the surprise round, this battle's looking a lot more manageable. Oh, wow. I maybe should have done the blight skill there. In fact, by maybe I mean definitely. I absolutely should have done the blight skill there.
Impressive.
Alright. Arterial pinch, even if it lands, it's going to take at most once. Because plague doctors are wonderful. I really think... I've gone on record several times saying that I think the Abomination is probably the best class in the game. And I stand by that, but plague doctors are a close second. Wow. He just toughed it out. The Plague Doctor is just good at everything. A third row Plague Doctor is good at absolutely everything in the game, pretty much. It's a little bit ridiculous.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
We can't take any of this. I legitimately am not going to drop anything for those rubies. As strange as that seems. Alright, let's make camp.
Gathered close, tenuous firelight, and uneasy companionship.
I just ate 8 food to dispel effectively 10 stress, because his stress is meaningless anyway. It definitely feels silly. Let's make sure we don't get ambushed. Yeah. Sure, Eldritch something Gryffindor. Why not? So Battle Trance is a little bit non-ideal for fighting the Drowned Crew because they, when they use the anchor, they pull someone to rank 1. This will be useful. And then I really should have swapped her skills. Knowing what I know, I should have given her Sharpened Spear instead of Battle Trance. That was a little bit of a misplay there. I guess we'll self-medicate because it doesn't do nothing. And we're a little bit of a loss for skills that do not nothing right here. And Encourage. No, I don't want you to hold the fiend back. That's not the thing you're doing here. When we get into the fight with the boss, you are going full fiend mode immediately. Ooh, a blue trinket. Okay. Nice. Alright, I don't think there's any particular preparation to make.
Even in death, the captain shouts his orders, and the crew obeys.
Alright, so this guy's at 50% prot. And I just kind of smacked him without thinking, but maybe we should ignore him and focus on the boss. When he throws the anchor out, he loses all of his extra prot. And at that point, we'll be able to mess him up pretty badly. Pretty trivially. Iron Swan and Wicked Hack are the same attack. Yeah, we'll focus in on the boss, and we'll let this guy throw his anchor, and then we'll kill him quickly once he's done that. Drink with the Dead, by the way. What they wanted to have one attack for each of the pictured guys, I think. And so this guy's thing is he tries to get you to drink with him, and then you do drink with him, and then you're like bummed out because he's kind of a creep, and it inflicts like 10 stress damage. It really is very sad. I should have transformed. Yeah, absolutely. Although at this point it's looking like maybe I don't even need to. Okay, like I guess that's a real bleed. It's all so irrelevant. Oh no. 15 stress, whatever shall we do? Okay, so here comes the anchor. Oh, I should also mention, when he throws the anchor out, he regains all his health. That's the reason that it's not worth, yeah, just go ahead and... That's the reason that it's not worth attacking him unless you're sure you can kill him. And honestly, maybe not even then. Alright, this ought to do it for him.
A decisive pummeling.
Oh, right, they gain the prot for the, you can see the chains. Alright, we'll just kill him. So don't use dots on that guy, just beat him to death. It does rack up the stress pretty quickly on that person. I guess that's something. Would you stop pulling him forward? I don't even think we care about that bleed. Yeah, these guys just do so much damage that we can almost ignore the boss mechanics. Oh no, don't give my occultist a small amount of stress. Whatever shall I do?
Precision and power.
He's gonna kill a whole boat with that little knife of his. Alright, let's just kill this jerk. Oh, there's no reason to throw the blight on him as you saw last time. She has spent most of the day being strangled by an anchor chain, so I get why she's feeling a little stressed out. Not everybody's into that sort of thing. Alright. And the boss is dead. Blight will tear their cursed ship apart. Apparently that doesn't count as an action. We can just wait it out at this point, so why not? Notice that that evasive passive voice. They are cursed, not I cursed them. Well, shoot, I guess let's go back and make some more money. I don't see any particular reason to break off now. If we get a bunch of inconvenient hallway battles between here and there, perhaps we will bail out. But otherwise, I see no reason not to go back to the beginning. There are 4 rooms that we didn't go into. Think about all the money they could hold. Although I guess we don't really have that much more room for money. We have 2 slots that aren't yet full of money. The other thing to consider, right? When I talk about making gold, it's not just about bringing home gold. It's not just about income. Just like in real life, what you're looking for is the delta between your income and your expenditures.
The way is lit. The path is clear.
So it's not necessarily
The strength to follow it.
shoot. It's not necessarily worth going on to get extra money if you end up spending extra money in the effort. And generally speaking, at this point, the way that would happen is that you would drive someone over a stress threshold where they then need to be de-stressed, put into the Abbey or something for 1,400 gold. I don't think that's the case here. I think the back 3 are all going to be fine, and Hote is going to need to be de-stressed no matter what we do. She might even get pushed over here. Although I guess if she gets pushed over the edge and her resolve is tested and she goes virtuous, then maybe we don't have to de-stress her. Oh, the damn fishman dodged. Well, he's getting an Iron Swan. That's annoying, but not really that big a deal. Okay. The pelagic piranha is our next target, of course.
Singular strike.
Wow. Yep, just Power doing what Power does. I suppose we did not need to throw a blight on him. I considered just using it on the champion here. Alright, well that's a move of dubious value. Unfortunately, there's very little to say about a process that you've seen at this point dozens of times, where we slowly burn a fishman to death with acids and disease. Maybe we're not any better than our ancestor. You know, now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, that maybe should have been a heal. Yes, that definitely should have been a heal. That's a little bit of a mistake. Right, because this guy is very under control. So under control, in fact. What do you got? What? Yeah, that's what I thought. Pathetic.
Devastating blow.
I don't have the holy water, so I'm not going to bother interacting with that. Okay. Boy, I haven't seen that in a long time. He's had Hylomania this whole time. I'm not going to mess with that. Why don't you take care of this? If we let the Hellion touch it, I'm afraid that it's going to drive her mad. They probably should update the damage of the traps on the higher difficulties. A bleed hitting for ticks of 2 at this level, it just really... It barely even registers. Alright, we're just going to push bravely onward despite having no food. If we can't make it the 3 steps to this pack, well, then we deserve what we get. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, of course, because she's an unbelievable badass. Our true power revealed. I don't know how you thought it would go any different. Yeah, if we learned anything... What? I mean, cool, I guess, but what an incredibly weird thing to say. Was she holding out on us? Does she have extra dried lamb hock this whole time? Yeah, the way I see it is either she has a bunch of dried lamb hock hidden away in her I don't even know what you call this barbarian garb that she's wearing. Then she's been holding out on us this whole time, and that's kind of a dick move, and that doesn't inspire confidence in me. Or she's talking about an imaginary dried piece of lamb, which also does not inspire a lot of confidence. Everybody else seemed to think it was cool, but I'm very concerned about this turn of events. Okay, that's normal. We see that all the time. She said that 6 times during camp last night. Well, it does indeed appear to be the case that we are not going to have to de-stress anybody due to a fantastic bit of luck. It doesn't really matter. Basically, it saved us 1,400 gold. It's not nothing, but it's not great.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
You know what? Call me crazy, but I'm going to take 4 busts over 300 gold. Oh, good, a map. Yeah, let's go. Alright, 1 boss remains. Quick draw's nice. Replace stressed faster, which also is nice. That replaced on guard, which is better. Oh well. Downgrades all around.
I see something long absent in the sunken faces of passers-by. A glimmer of hope.
Who are these passers-by? Alright.
This man understands that adversity and existence are one and the same.
I am at this point basically just looking for Eldritch Slaying Rings. Alright, so we do still need 14 busts to finish upgrading the town all the way. And really, the only thing left that's meaningful is slaying the formless flesh and taking this giant pulsating heart. Gross. And then it's going to expect us to keep that in a box with all of our nice things, with our map. Look how old this map is. You can't get heart all over this thing. Also, wow, this is a lot of food. we have ended up with a lot of focus rings, especially considering how many of them we lost to people dying, and then that bunch that we sold when we had so many. Well, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you're enjoying the series, like, subscribe, whatever. Or don't. It doesn't actually affect me one way or the other. It's just something I hear cool people say on YouTube, and I want to be as cool as they are. Come back next time when we slay the formless flesh, and then look on to a to a terrifying future.